weekend and Monday night on YouTube, and you know what that means. Ringside is on the air here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. We have a fun one for you, folks. I am your guest host, Jose Tabata. You can find me on social media at Tabata93, but more importantly, you can find the show on social media at Ringside_Heat, and of course, available wherever you get your podcasts. It is a two-man wrecking crew here today, and I'm joined by my AEW companion, my good NHL buddy, and the dude who, I don't know, who just likes to hang around with me for some odd reason. You can find him at Risen72, our extra live streamer, Mr. Colin Dodge. Colin, hello. How are you?
I'm already mildly upset. No, I'm actually doing great.
Yeah, after last week, it'll be a calmer conversation.
Yes, no. I'm actually doing shockingly well for this year. It's not been my best year, but certainly better than most, so I'm not going to start going that route. But when we get a chance, I will go into business for myself, and I do want to talk about the weekend of November 2nd.
Yes. So we before we get into our casual conversations about wrestling, which again, much calmer if you listen to last week. It'll be we have a lot. There's a lot of stuff that went on the last couple of weekends here for us personally at Ringside Heat. First things first, some housekeeping. You will notice now that our graphics here on our overlay has been updated as John's show has come and gone again. We will talk about that in just a few moments. Okay. But first things first. Our next live streams have been set. Bookmark your calendars. Join us November 23rd, is AEW Full Gear, in which
that's what I like to watch.
In which Colin and I presume will be us two again. If the rest of the crew obviously wants to join us, we're more than welcome to. But we will be reacting to Full Gear, and I presume once again that we will be recording a live episode right after that. I am not 100% positive, but we will get back to you on that. And then the week after, it's back-to-back live streams. And it is where everything implodes for the Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games live from Vancouver, Canada. And let me now say live on radio.
Look at the grin.
You're talking about business for yourself. Let me quickly put my business in here. Your boy, Jose Tabata, has officially locked in his tickets for Survivor Series War Games. Yeah, that's right, folks. Me and my friend Matthew, we are headed to the Rogers Arena in beautiful downtown Vancouver, and we are ready to watch Survivor Series live. It'll be my buddy Matt's first ever show, which is super, super exciting. Our seats are actually incredible. So I am very, very much excited to be a part of that. And again, that'll be my third PLE in 2024. And of course, knowing that now a fourth is on its way, which will be our second segment after the commercial break. But yeah, that is my business for myself here. But first, yes, the past couple of weekends, I don't think we had a chance to talk about it last weekend because again, you were in the middle of everything, and again, chaotic episode last week. So Colin, congratulations to you on an incredible weekend for you. Elden Ring, you survived it. You survived the 12-hour streams. Colin, what was the final total raised, and how do you feel now that you realize that you have Elden Ring stuck in your head for life?
Yeah, I'm now an Elden Ring player, I did 24 hours. I like the game. It could be my new Skyrim. Definitely not my new Witcher 3, because I mean Witcher 3 is amazing, but it's up there. Anyway, the real congratulations is I have the best mother flippin' donors in the absolute world. They really showed up. First of all, they turned against me by making sure I played Elden Ring for 24 hours.
You're here.
Because I set up that incentive. And so they did that. But I showed them, I survived them, and I like the game, and I will continue to play that game. But no, I have raised $425 for Sick Kids Toronto. They have raised. I mean, I was just there surviving a game. But but I'm not done yet, though. I still want that last $75. So I'm greedy now. Again, it's all the fault of my donors. But in December, I will be doing one more 12-hour stream. I used to do 12 days of Christmas, but that's a lot of days to commit to in December of all months. So
a lot of Christmas days.
Big Christmas time in my family. We love us some Christmas. So I will be doing a 12 hours of Christmas stream, early weekend, either the first or second week in December, but Risen72 on Twitter and Instagram and Threads. Keep an eye on that for all those details. But donations. You can still make a donation if you want. I'd be remiss not to say join some of the best donors in the world. This is the most I've raised in 1 year, and this is my 7th year with Extra Life. And of course,
it's incredible, man.
I'm a 2-time leukemia survivor thanks to Sick Kids Toronto. So 8 years ago, when I learned about Extra Life and then learned that I could, as a Canadian, I could participate, and not only that, benefit the hospital that benefited me in the best way possible. No brainer. It's the best thing I do all year. So join the donor fund. Make me play hard games that actually aren't that hard. Yeah, I'm going to be really good at Elden Ring. So all y'all can suck it. So there you go. But yes, it was fantastic. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. While other things were happening, I was surviving Elden Ring, and I survived. So,
well, congratulations, man. Again, your story is always so inspirational and incredible. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun. I know once you confirm the day, we'll promote it here on Ringside Heat. Just incredible, man, all around. We were reading the whole way through. I tried to tune in as much as I could, of course. So again,
and you did. So that was great. I really appreciated you hanging out for a bit.
Of course, always, man. But congratulations, man. It is amazing what you're doing over there. I know I have some other friends as well who I found out that are also doing some stuff with Extra Life as well. So it's nice to see there's a couple of people that I know that get so motivated. And ironically, I think when it comes to charities, I know some people are always kind of skeptical about donating to charities. Like, does this really go worth?
And completely really understandable. Not? Yeah,
and
completely
you have, and when you have examples, a 2-time example, it's such a no-brainer to do that as well. So again, my hat's off to you. Again, I'm happy that you're here doing this episode. And
it's a fantastic community to be a part of. Not just I'm part of the Extra Life Toronto team specifically as well, but incredible support. Extra Life side, Sick Kids Foundation side. It's just it's a disgusting shot of positivity. I love it. So
it's fantastic. So congratulations, Colin, once again. And our next congratulations go to our very own Mr. John Dawson after an incredible performance Friday night live from Wayside Comics and Cocktails. First things first, a massive thank you to Omar for again. I know I'm saying this on behalf of John, but even as me who helped kind of get the live streams going. Actually, I'm not gonna say it was really me at the end of the day, but a big thank you to Omar, the owner of the Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario, 200 Main Street South. Folks, please go check it out. It's a great place. I even bought like a full Spider-Man graphic novel from Wayside last night. But again,
I told JP to pick up Old Man Logan for me. Did he do it? I haven't.
No, because I forgot to relay the message to him. But it was but again, it was such a great night. I finally also have my vinyl. I finally have my vinyl. I finally have my shirt. So again, a big congratulations.
I didn't get my vinyl yet.
I don't know what to tell you. But a big congratulations to John. An incredible outing, just incredible night, just really good music. There was a really big turnout last night at Wayside. Just a great time. And again, you just saw John in his element. I know we've seen him a lot with the wrestling head on, but to finally see John perform and do what he does best, phenomenal. I had such a blast. And I also want to give a personal thank you to my friend David. David Morisuti, who was with me at WrestleMania 40, who was on the pod a couple of times in April. I asked him, hey, I need a webcam. I need a camera for the live stream. I just need a quick setup. And he says, oh, I have this webcam that has a direct XLR input. So we were able to get direct sound from the mixer into the webcam to have that best audio quality possible for the live stream. So again, David.
Well, then I'll say thank you to you and David and Omar and everybody. I was able to watch live because we know I'm stuck out here in Nova Scotia, so I was able to watch it. So it sounded amazing, of course, not just because it's Charlie, but Manny, Steve, everybody, they all sounded great.
It was such a phenomenal. Seeing Steve again as well was pretty great. And he was performing alongside John. Just such a fun night. Such a fun night of great music. A great environment. Again, Wayside is if I was in charge and I had to pick a place where we had to consistently go to all the time, it's Wayside. It's such a great place. And I know it's cliche when one says that, oh, I wish I lived closer, and it is genuinely true. But it is such a great place to be at anytime I'm in there. And again, Omar is just so welcoming, so inviting. So again, folks, check out Wayside Comics and Cocktails. That is 200 Main Street South in Newmarket, Ontario. And again, it's just they're becoming friends of the show essentially. So a big congratulations to Omar, and again his success. So please go support your local comic book store, and of course again congratulations to John and Outliers. So I do have a vinyl player at home. I do, but I also like the integrity of keeping it sealed. So I don't know, you know.
Music is meant to be played. A record is meant to be played.
That's
Come
very
on.
true. But all that aside, and if you want, you can listen to John Dawson right now because we are heading into the commercial break. When we come back, massive, massive news once again for the city of Toronto. We are continuing to get more and more blessed by WWE for some damn reason. And this time it is in the biggest way possible. We'll be back. But if we just walk away, we'll be giving in. Tell me I'm wrong. But if we just walk away, we'll be. And welcome back to Ringside here on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. I am your guest host for the week, Jose Tabuada, alongside Mr. Colin Dodge. You can find him on social media at Risen72. Find me at Tabuada93 and find the show at Ringside_Heat. By the way, I apologize for not saying this right off the bat. First of all, simmer down your excitement. I know it is exciting that I'm back hosting. I know everybody gets all excited. But you're also probably wondering in the freak chance, that you're wondering, where's Lex? Lex is currently in the Big Apple. He is currently in New York City for a wrestling convention, what is literally called the Big Event. I'm not
the
even
big event in the Big Apple. I mean, how could you resist?
Yeah, I'm not even saying, oh, this is a big event. Like, it's more of like that's just the name of the thing.
That's
he is promoting. He's meeting somebody. He's meeting people in the wrestling community. I know he's promoting our show Ringside Heat as well. So hopefully Lex is having a fantastic weekend over in the Big Apple. He saw a photo of he sent us a photo of him in Times Square. Said it reminded him of the New York City arena in SmackDown versus Raw, in which you were able to, if you're in a street fight, remember you came to go to Times Square. To me, I just told him a lot for your local Yankees fan instead. After the Dodgers took care of them in 5
All right,
games.
we don't need him getting beat up before he comes back. I mean, he has to make no. He has to make it back.
It's kayfabe. It's kayfabe.
Okay.
Moving on now to our own big event here. Again, and like I said before the commercial break, and Colin, I know there's still, I know AEW is still your preference, but God, how can you not get excited for this? It's such.
I am easing my way back into.
It is
WWE. It's all tying into Netflix. When it's on Netflix, that's when I'll be back in. Yes, I watched a clip with Sami Zayn because, of course, if you want success in any kind of wrestling, you need Samoans and Canadians. So they know that, and so it's happening again. So yes, I'm very happy.
It's such big news for Toronto. The Elimination Chamber is heading to Toronto. Now, of course, this was originally, the rumor was originally, let me rephrase that whole sentence again. The original rumor for the Elimination Chamber was that the United Kingdom was going to get the pay-per-view. Now, of course, the UK, again, another great destination, but all of a sudden in the last few weeks, I think the rumor was quickly developed that the UK has been scrapped, and then all of a sudden, WWE's focus turned right back to Toronto. Of course, recently hosting Money in the Bank this past July at the Scotiabank Arena. So obviously, all our excitement started to develop again. It really, I think, in a snap, like the quick blink, and you'll miss it, that the rumor began rampant within the Dirties, and then the next thing you know, the next rumor came out saying that it's not the Scotiabank Arena; it is at the Rogers Center, formerly known as, to everybody that is Colin's age and above, the Sky Dome.
Yep.
So all those rumors, I'm getting excited, and now it is official. March 1st, 2025, the road to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada, stops in Toronto, Canada, for the first time, and this is really special to me, for the first time since March 17th, 2002. WrestleMania 18, in which The Rock and Hulk Hogan stood face to face in front of 68,000 fans that night on St. Patrick's Day. We are having a PLE, a pay-per-view, back in that stadium. Unbelievable. And look, I'll say this before I know I've been rambling on a lot with like I always do on Ringside Heat, but I want to say this. And I don't know why I'm getting like a little emotional, but as a kid, I always wondered what it would be like to watch a WWE show at my favorite place in the world. The Rogers Center is my favorite place.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 18 is my favorite place and is my favorite WrestleMania of all time. Everybody knows that. And
it was a good place at the time. Yeah. Yeah.
And every time I walk into that stadium for a Blue Jays game, which I go to a lot, everybody knows I'm a massive Blue Jays fan. I always wear a Blue Jays hat on stream. I always ask myself, how did WrestleMania 6 fit in here? And how did WrestleMania 18 fit in here? What is it like to sit in these seats that I'm always in for a baseball game?
Yeah.
What is it like to watch a wrestling show, a WWE pay-per-view?
Something actually fun to watch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And my question is going to be answered on March 1st. Colin, like I said, he's slowly getting back into the WWE, but what do you think about all this love that Toronto's been getting in the last few years from WWE?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I think it's just that they remembered, oh, right, we've had WrestleManias here, plural. And, oh, right, we always do well. Even AEW is having good shows there. Like,
yeah,
Toronto didn't stop being a wrestling town. And
no.
I think it's easy to, when you're a global company such as WWE, it's possibly easy to forget that because Toronto's still essentially, if you're looking at the northeast of the States, Toronto's in the backyard, right? So It's like, oh yeah, Toronto. So you forget, like, we're rabid wrestling fans here. And honestly, as long as your show is good, it really doesn't matter what the promotion is. If it's a good show, we're going to tell you. If it's a bad show, we're going to tell you, and we're going to respond in kind with ticket sales, right? So that's just how Toronto rolls. So they just like, oh, right, Toronto, we'll do well. Let's get it done. So, and then if you put us on the road to WrestleMania too, like, come on, you're going to get a genuine, real response, either good or bad, but we don't sit on our hands. So it's a good idea to put a show here. I don't care who you are, AEW, WWE, TNA, put a show in Toronto. You're going to get a response. So just make sure you're doing your job and it's entertaining and it's a good show and everybody will have a great night.
It is amazing that we had at one point a 10-year gap between pay-per-views in Toronto. Of course, Unforgiven 2006 at what was then known as the Air Canada Center, which debuted the current Hell in a Cell look today with the heightened roof.
Not a bad seat in the place too, to keep that in mind. So.
Right. And then the next pay-per-view after that was the 2016 Survivor Series, which of course saw Lesnar lose to Goldberg in like 30 seconds, which that was my first ever WWE pay-per-view, surprisingly enough. I avoided SummerSlam 04, Unforgiven 06, and so that was my first pay-per-view.
Wait. When was Oh yeah, SummerSlam was 04. Okay. I was trying to think. Wait, I saw a SummerSlam there. Which one was it? Was
2004.
Randy Orton winning, but what year was that? Was 2004?
That was 2004.
Yes. Okay.
So again, like there was a 10-year gap, and then 3 years later, Survivor Series 2016, then SummerSlam 2019, which that was the next pay-per-view for Toronto, and then a 5-year gap. Obviously, the pandemic probably got in the way, but then the 5-year gap, Money in the Bank this past July, and now within a calendar year, now we have another pay-per-view in Toronto. And again, I it's bittersweet for me to have Elimination Chamber as the pay-per-view for the Rogers Center, only because again, there was a point in my life when I was younger, I'm like the only pay-per-view that I ever want to go to, my very first pay-per-view, I wanted to be a WrestleMania in Toronto. I had to abandon that thought very, very quickly because obviously that never hasn't happened. And so then I just, Survivor Series it is. But it is amazing that venue is still so big, so great for events. Again, it has a lot of memories for wrestling fans, no doubt about it. I'm amazed that it took them this long. What is it now? It's going to be by the time March rolls around, just under like a few weeks shy of 23 years of WWE hosting a pay-per-view in that stadium.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I don't know if it's because of the renovations at the Rogers Center. I know now it is a more baseball friendly park. They took away a lot of seating. They took away, like, there's now more social spaces.
Yeah.
There was more room created for baseball specifics, like your bullpens. And I know center field also has now, like, they got rid of the restaurant, and now there's like the big, like, standing social space, which I presume they're going to use to their advantage at the Elimination
Oh,
Chamber.
really? I didn't realize that. Okay.
Oh yeah. So I maybe get why, if, like, the quote unquote attendance, the allure is not there anymore for WrestleMania, but also you had two incredible manias here.
Yeah.
Toronto wants it back.
Yeah.
And I think this is maybe WWE saying, well, our WrestleMania lineup is a little wild. And yes, they are aiming for bigger stadiums, because unfortunately Rogers Center doesn't really cut and compare it to AT&T Stadium in Dallas. It doesn't compare to MetLife Stadium in New York City, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
So I get it. And maybe it's a little bit outdated, but I still think that I think if you have to find a happy medium, this is it. And I think what a way to finally bring it back. And now I get to see once again for the first time since 2018 personally. I'm gonna finally see a WrestleMania sign in person. That's so exciting. Now, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, the Chamber is going to be descending down for the match, and I'm just gonna be looking at the sign, just smiling. Like,
there's gonna be so many pictures of you pointing to that damn sign. Watch our socials, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be nothing but Jose pointing. One where he's misty-eyed, one he's full on bawling, and then one where he's all tough. And it's
this is Jose's back turned to the camera, facing the sign. This is Jose looking at the camera with the sign pointed to the sign. This is Jose with both hands looking up to the sign like Kurt Angle.
This is Jose doing the Orton pose. This is Jose doing the Stone Cold pose. This is Jose doing the down on one knee taker pose. This is Hogan.
Oh my God. I remember seeing that. I didn't get a proper picture when I was at the Rumble in 2018 in Philadelphia with the WrestleMania 34 sign. But I think, frankly, the WrestleMania 41 logo with the casino theme is way better than the New Orleans themed 34 logo. But again, that's excited for. Now let me ask you this. Obviously, I think it's one thing to host an event at the Rogers Center. And again, I think the benefit about WrestleMania 18 was you didn't have any structured matches, right? Just a good old simple, like somewhat, like there was no need for intense stipulations like a cage, like a Hell in a Cell.
I see what you mean. Okay, all right.
At WrestleMania 18, the Elimination Chamber debuted later on that year in 2002 at Survivor Series. You know the Rogers Center, you know the Sky Dome. Just to make you feel better, you know the Sky Dome.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you think that the Chamber will be a cause for concern inside the Sky Dome?
In what, like, you mean watching it live?
In potential obstruction, yes.
Well, I mean, the cage itself is an obstruction. I know they do the best they can with making it as tall as possible and as, like, chain link kind of thing. There's been a few iterations and stuff like that, but even just your basic steel cage or Hell in a Cell, it's tricky. There is view obstruction, and then you've got 4 pods as well. It is a better match to watch on TV, of course, because you got all the cameras helping you. So, I mean, honestly, it depends how good the other screens are for people in the upper bowls, or how much gets sold all around the thing, right? First row, you're going to be fine. First 5 rows, something like that. Assuming, again, just making assumptions about how they're actually going to lay it out. But it's just folding chairs at that point for the most part before you start getting into the actual built-in seats and stuff, right? So, I mean, because it's Elimination Chamber, no matter what you do, it's going to be tricky. It's not going to be as easy as just a ring by itself, right? The squared circle is the most open thing ever, but now you've got a structure around it. So it will be tricky, but the point of a live show, honestly, is being in the sea of people. So you're going to have a good time at that show no matter what.
Oh,
because, first of all, it's Toronto, and it's Toronto wrestling fans.
Yep.
I love music, but I love me a concert, a live concert, and being at a concert. That's what I did in my 20s. I went to a ridiculous amount of concerts. That's where my money went. That's why I'm in Nova Scotia now, and I don't have a home. I don't own a home in Toronto on the Danforth like the Brandon Galati's told me to. I tried. But, I don't have an old apartment. But, so it's going to be a good time no matter what. I wouldn't stress about the obstruction because you're going to have a great time. And then that's why you have the network. You can watch all the best camera angles later. This is why you shouldn't even have your phones up. People just watch the show.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Here's a couple of points that I think are going to be my initial cause for concern, especially with now, again, with the latest renovation. So if for those that don't know, and again, if you do know, in Toronto, the baseline seats originally were facing the outfield. Which in baseball, that's kind of a big no-no, because you're always going to be focusing on what's happening at the plate. You're always going to be focusing on the batter.
Center line. Yeah.
That benefited WrestleMania 18 or WrestleMania 6 because, again, because you're facing center field, right? Because you're facing center field, you're essentially staring at the ring. Which, again, was a big plus. Now those seats, those original base hunter seats, they shifted inwards towards home plate. So now when you're sitting down, you don't have to twist your back. So let's say like this was my original seat. Like if I was to sit straight without twisting my body, I am looking at center field and I had to shift my body and look at home plate. Now the seats are just like this. I am just looking straight ahead, which means I have to twist my body now if I want to look at something in the outfield, which again makes more sense. For WWE, I'm going to presume that now, that's going to be at a slight disadvantage for them. My next concern will be there's going to obviously have to be an overhead structure to support the chamber. You're going to have that too. How are you going to, what are you going to do? Descend it from the roof?
No. Is the roof even open?
No, it won't be. No, definitely won't be.
No.
So
I'm trying to visualize too. Okay, so the ring, is it essentially where the pitcher's mound is?
I believe the ring is going to be where the pitcher's mound will be. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If not the pitcher's mound, then second base outfield. Do we have to get a photo of the infield for you?
No. I mean, it's fine. We don't need to. Yeah, I get it. Baseball. Look, I love me a Toronto team. Baseball is so boring. The last time I went to a baseball game was to see Johnny play, and then he played the national anthem with his band.
Oh,
and,
that's play.
This is a long time ago. You might not even
he
been
played
born
the
yet,
national
Jose,
anthem at a Blue Jays game?
He did, yeah. I was there. That's why I went to that game, and I thought, great, this is great. Oh, the game's starting. Oh. Yeah, and I was too young to be enjoying
baseball is an art.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yep.
So I presume, your next point you were going to make,
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, how obviously the chamber is not light, but you're right. Is this going to be? There's going to have to be some kind of crane there, and then
the tarp. Yeah.
How much is that crane going to be an obstruction for people too, right? Or will they kind of just hollow out like a row and seating possibly all the way up into the stands as best they can, so people aren't getting obstruction seats?
No matter what you're going to, I picture what happened to me at WrestleMania 40 and 35, in which they had to set up the overhead structure for just screens, screens at for everybody. And of course, I sat it at the corners, and sure, the scaffolding was in the way. Did I care? No, I still cried for Cody.
Yeah.
So I presume it's gonna have to be the same anyways. But I think thankfully, and there's obviously the big screen now, and the screen has been renovated at the Rogers Center, so now it has like an extension part of it as well, which I hope the WWE uses to their advantage. I think we'll be fine no matter what. I presume you're gonna have your structure scaffolding to support the chamber. Those are gonna have screens, and then of course you're gonna have your bigger screen to support everything. And if that could be a walkway again, that would be sick. I'd rather not see them use like the dugout entrances again, but I don't see that happening. I don't. It'll be curious. But again, this is what I always asked as a kid. How do you have a show in there? Where are the cameras going to be set up? Where were they at WrestleMania 18, at WrestleMania 6?
Yeah,
they're going to be answered.
Where's Video Village going to be and all that?
I can't wait. It is a dream come true for me to do a show at that stadium. I presume Video Village is going to be in center field. Again, all these questions are going to be answered in a couple of months. But for now, folks, get ready.
But it's fun to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. March 1st, 2025. The road to WrestleMania has a stop in Toronto. Unbelievable.
As it should.
Unbelievable to say. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, but when we come back, I'm going to bring up an old conversation that has angered a lot of fans on both sides of the fence. Ratings and metrics. I have a good point with that. So stick around. We'll be back. Don't forget to follow the show at Ringside_Heath, and we'll be back here on Sauga 960 AM after the break.
Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away, we'll be giving in. Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away.
And welcome back to Ringside here on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. You can follow our show at Ringside_Heath. I am your guest host for the week, Jose Tabata. You can find me on social media at Tabata83. And of course, to my right is my co-hosting buddy for the week, our extra live streamer, Colin Dodge. You can find him on social media at Risen72. Thank you for tuning in to episode 160. If you made it this far, thank you. We really do appreciate your support and all your love for us on Ringside Heat. And of course, if you are an active listener, we hope you are enjoying this very 10-minute calm conversation. Now, ratings. The beautiful ratings.
I got my calculator ready. Let's go.
So controversial ratings conversation. Yep. The metrics. Why am I bringing this up, Jose? You may ask. Well, number one, because I'm crazy, and I think it'd be absolutely hilarious to kind of like bug everybody of the masses. But a point kind of came to me this past week, and is why I wanted to have a conversation here on the show. So first things first, the reason why I bring it up is because of, once again, this past week in the world of television, NXT and AEW had to align again on both nights due to the presidential election this past Tuesday in the United States. So, and of course, when NXT and AEW Dynamite come together week to week essentially at the same time, everybody starts to go and saying, "Oh, who's the better show?" Blah 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 blah. You know, the same usual quote unquote toxic conversation. And of course, NXT won in the ratings again. I would say 619,000 viewers, with a 0.17 rating in the 18 to 49 age range. And then AEW Dynamite, 523,000 viewers on average, and a 0.16 rating between the 18 to 19 demographic, the age demographic. So just literally slightly slower than NXT. Now, yes, I know the traditional argument of let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Yep. That's fine. It doesn't matter what the ratings are. That's not true. And that is where...
They're running a business. Ratings matter. Yeah.
And the reason why I bring this up, because one, again, the ratings matter. I will always think that the ratings matter. And if you if you really do think that the ratings don't matter, go have a conversation with Ted Turner.
Yeah, conversation with Ted Turner. But it's TV stations. Ratings matter. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's not why I'm bringing this up. And yes, of course, NXT had the ECW themed night with the return of a lot of legends, Dawn Marie, Francine, Nunzio had a match which was absolutely hilarious. I know, right? Yeah, he had a match for the NXT North American Championship. He got put up to a choke slam, and then the old sign of the cross like he did for
I was just about to bring that up. He had the best spot with Taker, where he's the only guy to pray before he got dropped,
and he did it again. He's like, he did it. Anyways,
beautiful.
NXT, yes, I expect NXT to have a better night because of the whole nostalgia factor. Nostalgia works. Yeah. Here's the reason why I bring it up. We are now we're just a mere months away from essentially this portion of the TV ratings to be over. For 30, 40 years, maybe longer, wrestling, I think any program in general always relied on the ratings. Yeah. How many people are watching? Mm-hmm. If there's a big viewership of people watching, how does that affect sponsors? How does that affect the income? Everything. It always mattered. Again, WCW died because their ratings died. Yep. Right? But this conversation is about to end. Starting, of course, in January, WWE makes their switch for the most part to Netflix. Right. They make their switch to Netflix. AEW Dynamite eventually will make the switch over to HBO Max, which, again, and I know we never touched upon that a couple of weeks back when it was announced, because I think we got busy with our live streams and everything. We never found the conversation to do so. So now this is where I'm going to open up the floor. And the question I have for you, Colin, I guess to kind of get your wheels going is, with this era of the ratings and the quote unquote metrics ending, will a new conversations about metrics and ratings arise with subscriptions, with view time? How do you think this shapes the landscape to help keep these shows essentially quote unquote floating?
Well, because now you're going to be talking about how available are you, right? So let's keep in mind I'm a cable cutter. I haven't had cable in like a decade. So there are very few times where I'm actually watching something live.
Mhm.
I actually, to be quite honestly, my viewing of AEW this past week, especially, has been highlights. I have lots of things to catch up on. I've caught a few matches in their entirety here and there. Swerve and Shelton Benjamin was amazing, by the way. But yeah, exactly. And so I'm getting things after the fact. So now it becomes how available are you? Well, everybody has, even I have Netflix again. Everybody has Netflix. HBO Max, is that going to be carried via Crave? Do we have to, as
Yeah.
AEW fans,
Didn't even
do
think
we
about
have
that.
to rely on TSN? Because that's bad.
Yeah.
TSN forgets they have AEW, the AEW account. Not only that, their player is terrible.
Yeah.
It still is.
That's very fair
You know, I wish Sportsnet had it because their player works. And not only that, it works on my PS5 rather smoothly. TSN's not even on PS5.
No, it's not. Oh,
I
it's so
have to use
frustrating.
my smart TV. I have fiber internet now. It still sucks. It's the player, not my internet. I'm sorry. TSN, it get better.
Which is
So that's
ironic
the
because TSN is owned by Bell.
exactly. So why does my fiber op anyway? I don't want to give free advertising to anybody. So, and I'm trashing TSN. So,
Welcome to
but
Ringside
that's the thing.
Heat.
Yeah, like it comes down to, so are people subscribing because the WWE Network is now on Netflix? Is HBO Max going to get a bump because they have AEW now? I don't know. How much does Warner Brothers Discovery have to push this? Where it's just like people have Netflix already, and now more people in the family can go, oh, hey, your wrestling's on here now. You know,
Yeah.
whereas in, do I have? I don't have Crave. I don't have anything, right? So well, there's the point. I have Netflix. I don't have Crave. I'm not doing any extra. It took me a lot to convince myself to get Netflix now at its prices that I'm angry about. So,
Yes.
you know what I mean? It's only because I'm going half in with a family member, and we're in two different places, so I still had to choose the inflated price. you but yeah. So, and am I going to get Crave on top of that? We don't even know how Canadians are going to be able to consume, or is it just going to be through Fight Network? And that's something else entirely too. So,
Right. No,
or True, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
no, you bring up very, very good points. And
Yeah.
not to burst your bubble, I do think that for Canada, we hold on to TSN. I think.
Well, because the infrastructure, if you can call it infrastructure, is already there. If TSN remembers that it's there.
Yeah, but I know for Canada, like with WWE, everything gets shifted to like even Sportsnet, Rogers Sportsnet here in Canada, we're losing on WWE access, and now we are watching all of our content on Netflix, which is insane.
Yeah.
I think that includes SmackDown as well, which again,
So it's going to
wild.
be all the shows and pay-per-views and everything too, right?
The whole library, everything. It is a good deal, but
it's a very good deal. I mean, the value alone.
it is great. And now I'm somebody that hasn't cut the cable yet, only because number one, I'm a sports guy. I hate streaming sports. I am not crazy in streaming sports at all. Mind you,
it's not easy.
Mind you, with this whole new setup with Rogers as of late and their whole Ignite or Xfinity, which essentially is an internet connection, I still get a delay no matter what. I don't win. I do not win. But again, I sustain cable because again, I know everyone in the family watches it, and again, I just prefer watching. I just prefer having like a better direct connection compared to a stream,
right?
Which is why I've always had it, and especially because I work in sports journalism. You guys know that I work in sports journalism. It's very similar, right? So
yeah, it goes hand in hand. So
it goes hand in hand for me. So that's why I don't think I would ever cut the cable, quote unquote. But I mean, obviously now I'm going to be more invested in Netflix than I ever have been in my life. I feel like now I can finally benefit of the Netflix that I'm paying for because my dad always uses it more than me. So what I'm curious about is are we going to get a bigger push and focus on the number of subscribers that go onto these things? How long are
Yeah.
people watching these shows? Is it worth it to
Right.
to upload all this content and for people not to watch it, right? And then on top of that,
Well,
I
yeah.
think one of the things that's kind of like escaping me a little bit is that there's a lot of WWE content going into Netflix.
Yep.
I would say more than I think people realize that it's going
Yeah.
into conflicts. A lot of people who stopped watching wrestling and now have Netflix, they're going to see their whole library back, and they'll be like, "I remember this, I remember that." But because of the amount of the content that's coming in, do we expect a additional separate pricing package for the
Yeah.
content?
And
That is
people
what
might not even realize enough time has passed since 2001. That includes WCW library and
everything.
ECW library. Like,
Everything. But the
yeah,
point is, but
it's a
the point I
lot.
wanted to make is it one, will we get a separate pricing package? And two, with that, will there be a focus on like what essentially the question is what are the new metrics to look at, like the TV ratings? For me,
Yeah.
it's subscribers, the amount of
Mhm.
new subscribers when the
Yeah.
jump happens, the amount of subscribers that come over time, potentially specifically for that, and to see if there's a
Mhm.
correlation between the new subscription and the content that they're watching, which could be WWE content or
Yeah.
HBO content, Max content with AEW, and how long are they watching it for? Are there people watching it live? And I think, in my opinion, for people to say they don't care about ratings, enjoy what they want to watch, it never mattered. And they say that they're happy that it's going to be over. No, you're about to get a new. I think you're going to get
Yeah.
a new stat of how long are people watching these like the shows live, which
Yeah.
is a big factor for both of these companies, for Netflix and for HBO, to say, is it worth it for us to hold on to this kind of thing if people are if people are not watching this live? Then what's the point?
Yeah.
That's a factor to take care. That's a factor to really hone in.
Well, I mean, the phrasing is wrong. Like, I'm gonna enjoy a show no matter what.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
I have a long history of a show that I really like. Nobody else does, and so I'm lucky if I get an entire season before it gets canceled. That happens a lot. I remember a long time ago there was a cop procedural show called Boomtown. Terrible name, but Boomtown. Basically, it was Tarantino-like, as in it would be shown out of order. The narrative is shown out of order, but it included the cops' point of view, the emergency services point of view, and fire point of view. And it was a great little show. And I was the only one that watched it because I think it was too soon for the Tarantino way of shooting things out of order, and people didn't get
Fair.
it on TV. I was already a Tarantino fan, so I loved it. But anyway, point is, I have a long history of what I like, nobody else does, and so it gets canceled. Um, Conan O'Brien got kicked off the Tonight Show because they didn't give him enough time to build an audience.
Right? Oh god, that
Conan,
whole saga, yeah.
you could say he's an acquired taste, but man, once you get it, you love Conan for life, like
So good.
I do. You know what I mean?
So good.
So, but ratings, of course, matter. But yes, I know AEW is not beating anybody in the ratings. I'm still enjoying it and I'm still consuming it in the best way I can in a non-ratings capacity because I'm a cable cutter anyway. So as much as I like it, I'm not contributing to their ratings at
But
all.
don't you think
You
the
know?
conversation comes back now with HBO Max and for Netflix? Don't you think you're gonna get quote unquote get right back into the mix? Not as, I know it's
Yeah,
gonna be hard for us to get
for
HBO
sure.
Max, but for the regular American, doesn't that mean you're now you're going back to it?
Yeah, well, because now it's where um, it's going to be WB, HBO Max versus Netflix. So now people are going to be looking at that's going to hit ratings news. That's going to be a part of the wrestling news sphere and dirt sheets, whatever you want to call it. It's like, okay, so yes, we're going to be looking at a rise of subscribers since AEW's start date and Max was announced, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And those metrics will be looked at because it's still ratings. It's a different kind of ratings, but ratings are ratings, and ratings are important because if the numbers get worse for WWE or for Netflix somehow because of WWE is not going to last long on Netflix. Now,
Nope.
I don't see that happening, of course, because it's WWE.
No, I agree.
But you know what I mean? Like the numbers, of course, are important. It's just ratings now are a subscription and not Nielsen. Ratings are how much you're watching it. Last time I had Netflix, what was always on in the background was The Office. Now it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like there's just stuff that you have on repeat in the background. You know what I mean? Is the Monday Night Wars going to be the new background for wrestling fans on Netflix? If they put all that back on there, you know what I mean? Like that documentary series.
Is a Royal Rumble gonna be like like in the background, right?
Best
Like
of Attitude Era, like people are just gonna have that on 24/7, right?
and for AEW, will they have a Cody Rhodes match on back?
The beginning, the
Not a lot of
BCC
history.
history, the Elites,
Thank you.
the Dark Order with Brody, of course.
Brody Lee, yeah.
The Brody era of Dark Order. Like there's even in their 5 years, they've gotten a nice little things to look back on and all that kind of thing. And they actually put together really nice packages on their AEW channel, by the way. There's a Tony Storm one, which is fantastic.
There you go.
But anyway, so that's the thing. Like, so it's, the nostalgia kicks in for all of them. But yeah, ratings are not going to go away because they're putting out a television show, whether that's on cable TV or a subscription service. That's how money is made for the show. And you can't be mad about ratings. Watch what you watch. Help them out if you want. Go get cable so you can help out your favorite show if you wanted to.
I mean, that conversation is not going to last much longer, but yes.
Go get Netflix. Go get HBO
There you
Max
go.
in Canada. Go get Crave. However it's going to work out for Canadians. It always takes them forever to go, oh yeah, Canada, this is how you can do it if they remember it all. You know what I mean? But that's a whole other discussion.
I think that's how I want to close out and hone out the argument is that, like I said, in my opinion, when people say it doesn't matter, it should never care. I'm like, take a step back, look at it, like put yourself in a business perspective, right?
Yeah,
you want people to watch your show.
Yeah.
You want people to watch your show. You want people to listen in to when you're on at a certain point. You want people to watch in, right? You want it to grow.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't grow, then what?
Yeah.
Right.
If you want your favorite wrestler to earn money and support their family, ratings is a revenue stream. I'm sorry.
It is a revenue stream. And again, like I just think that this ratings metrics conversation is going to be modified, is going to be renovated, I guess, in a sense. I don't know if that's the word to
measured in a new way. There's a new measurement coming, but ratings are still ratings. Yeah.
It's going to continue. I'm excited to see where it goes. Yes, people are going to be subscribed to where they want to subscribe to. Again, no, I don't think nobody's taking that away. And yes, also, like just because that one show is rated less doesn't mean that it's significantly worse. No doubt about it. I mean, if that's the perspective that people are going on when it comes to conversation, 100% agree.
Yeah.
But it's still a point of note to see what people are watching and what they want to watch and when they want to watch it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I had to sneeze.
But it's Coke versus RC Cola. What do you expect? AEW is trying to be Pepsi.
I still pick Coca-Cola over Pepsi easily. That's not even up for debate.
No, I know.
Anybody that picks Pepsi is a concern. Anybody that says Pepsi's better, get checked. Oh no. Oh, that's right, Sam.
You walked right into it, buddy.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes, of course.
When I'm talking about AEW, I have to cover up this part. And then when I'm talking about WWE, I talk about
well, on that note, that will conclude our episode here this week. Colin, that was a lot of fun this week.
It was good. It was good.
That was
again,
great.
Best donors in the world. Another shout out to them. Best musician in the world. Good old John Dawson at an amazing event that he held. Best live streams in the world coming up 23rd and 30th. I guess best person who wears a Blue Jay hat. I don't know. Sure, why not? I mean, should be a Leafs hat right now, but you know. I did get a new hat. Yeah, you were showing me pictures of that, and then what are you wearing today? I mean, come on.
Because I always like wearing there you go.
There we go.
I'll end the episode with my Leafs hat. Go Leafs, go. Anthony Stollarts is a god. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Of course, first things first, folks, please support our friend John Dawson. You can buy his 180 gram vinyl at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com, I believe is the link. The link is in the description below. Support him. Get your shirt. Again, great dude.
Start a vinyl collection and make that your first one.
Follow us on social media at ringside_Heath. And of course, we are available wherever you get your podcasts. So please, folks, listen in when we go live for Mr. Colin Dodge. You can find him on social media at Risen72. I am Jose Tabata. Find me on social media at Tabata93. Thank you for listening. We will see you all next week. Take care, guys. Oh, and we remember things that you want. Got it. Take care, guys.
Eventually.